Robin, it is so great to have you back. For those that are new to the conference, I wondered if you could just start by telling us a bit about what's the GSA's role in government technology?
Well, first of all, it's great to be here. I can't really see, but it looks like a pretty full house here. Yes, it is. Look at this. I was looking the other day at my past schedule of coming to these things, and it's been a long time. I remember I was here. Does anybody remember when healthcare.gov had its little not great rollout?
Did they have problems?
I was here that week, speaking right up here, and it was a very different vibe. Anyway, we've learned a lot since then. At GSA, we actually do have a big role when it comes to technology. Y'all might not know this, but the General Services Administration also happens to be the largest property owner and manager in the country of commercial real estate, so that keeps us pretty busy. But we also happen to buy about $100 billion worth of goods and services for federal agencies. That includes technology. So when it comes to technology, I think of it as in sort of three buckets of activity. One, we help build things, right? So things, if you think about login.gov, a single sign-on for government websites, if you think about the US web design system, that's a thing that was created by our team.
Big fans.
Yes, got some fans. You all ought to use it. If you haven't, take a look. It's open source. It's really great. So we build things, we buy things, and we help agencies do that. And so that obviously, I can go into a lot about procurement. It's one of my favorite topics. And then we actually bring people together. So we help with talent, whether that's recruiting people into the Technology Transformation Service, the Presidential Innovation Fellows, the US Digital Corps. Do we have anybody in the house from any of those teams? All right. So always recruiting, so anybody want to be a part of that, let us know.
Nobody from Code for America, please. So I think we have to talk about AI. I think that's actually a law that was recently passed.
Yes.
So let's just start with, I think, really how is the GSA thinking about harnessing the power of AI and approaching it today?
Yeah, you know, it is the topic du jour. I just gave a talk about it yesterday as well, generative AI. Look, AI is just a tool. All these things, technology is just a tool. And through our history, whether it's the internal combustion engine or the typewriter or a washing machine, like all of those technology tools just make life better, right? This one is unique in so many ways because of its expansive nature, but it is a thing that we have control over, right? If we choose. For me, the question is, how do we keep up with the speed of change that we're seeing in this and balance those opportunities? Because it really is kind of what we have dreamed about for 20 years, that you can actually harness data, and we have the data and the talent and the capacity to actually use that for the public good, but we have to do it in a way that mitigates risks. And so how do you strike that balance, I think, is the challenge of our time, particularly when it comes to democratic societies. And I want everybody to give thought to that part of the statement, because there is no doubt in societies where there's not the same value on privacy and individual rights, that they can use all of these technology tools to pretty effectively deliver things. But we have to figure out, all of us in this room, how in a democratic society we balance the values that we care about. So the things I think about in that are, number one, are these tools secure? Do they protect privacy? Yep. Do they protect our systems? Do they protect our national security? That's number one. Number two, are they accessible? It's government's job to serve everybody. We don't pick and choose who our customers are. Yep. So we have to have things that are seamless and usable for all of our folks. And then the third is it responsible? And that's not just about being ethical or legal, it's about being transparent, right? And having real clarity about where this data comes from and responsibly using it. So I always think about, as we're government in this, it is our job to optimize for trust. That's our job.
Yeah, that makes sense.
a lot of the sort of underlying data sources are government data sources, and we have to make sure those are trusted.
I do think there was clapping starting with optimize for trust, so that seems like it's a good one to talk about. Actually, let's push in a bit on that. We have a lot of industry representatives here. What's important for the industry to understand about GSA is just their view on ethical AI and how they're going to think about it going forward.
Yeah, so first is I think it's important that all of our industry partners, we've got to do this together, and we need your help, we want your collaboration, we want your good ideas, but we want those to be aligned with what are values that matter for us. So things like transparency, like understanding the data provenance, understanding data ownership, having clarity about APIs and how we're sharing all of these things. Like in the past, we have, as a government, I will say, I think I can speak for many of us, bought black box type solutions, right? We have a problem, just come in and fix it, that's what we need. We're in a world now where that just is not going to keep up with the speed of change. We know that we're going to have to change more quickly. We know we need more seamless integrations of data and systems, which means we need transparency to be able to get that done. So that is a very big deal for us. I will also say that, we know it's hard to do business with the government. We're trying to make that easier. There are a few ways we're focused on that. One is we're trying to do better in our contracts and the language and the procurement so that we can get good things to market faster. Part of that is around FedRAMP, if you've heard of that one.
I have a few times.
Yeah. So we're going to do better with FedRAMP. We know that has got to get automated better. It's got to move more quickly and have less friction. If we're going to get the best-in-class resources for government, we've got to get that right.
No, that makes a lot of sense. And I think I think when I think about the delivery of technology, how do you give use cases of how you're thinking about using AI in that space? You mentioned, I think, automating FedRAMP's a great example.
Yeah.
Are there others?
So we've got lots of things going on. I don't want to go into too many details just yet, but know that we've got at GSA alone, we've got 150 different AI pilots happening. So cool. 132 different tools are being used, 7 sandbox environments that have been set up, and that's just our team, right? But across government, we're seeing the same kind of enthusiasm in this. We've got we have a thing called the Tech Modernization Fund, and it's a place where out of your normal financing cycle and budget cycle, you can come and get some money to do projects. And so we're seeing all across government AI proposals, and so that's been really interesting.
So great.
But the thing I want to leave this crowd with is we've got a thing called a community of practice. It's a GSA AI community of practice, so you should Google that, because here's what's interesting about it. Number one, we're using it to upskill a lot of folks because we're working with Stanford on training, free AI training for anyone with a .gov email address. So anybody in here have a .gov email address? All right, so you can go to the GSA's AI community of practice and sign up for that, and I'd encourage you to do so. The other part is it's also this, and about 5,000 people have been trained so far, but we're also having that be kind of a center of gravity so people can share and learn. We were talking backstage about so many people in government have the same problems.
Yep.
But you don't always have the same problems at the same time. We kind of do when it comes to AI.
Yeah.
Whether it's federal, state, or local government, we're all grappling with how do we harness this incredible technology and do it in ways that are responsible. We don't all have to reinvent the wheel on this. We can actually work together. And so we're creating a space for that to happen. Again, you can sign up if you got a .gov email address.
Great, great. So just to leave maybe the audience with some thoughts on just how are the future in terms of long-term, how you're thinking about AI and what do we have to look forward to?
Well, again, I just think back to over the last 10 or 15 years as so many of us have, thought to focus on how we can make government work better for the people we serve. That's what animates me in my career. We've come a long, long way, but now there's this new opportunity. It's sort of like, as I said, what we've dreamed of for a long time to have an impact here, but it could go sideways,
Yep.
right? But we're all in this moment now where we can also get it right. And it's about getting it right for the people we serve. It's about getting it right for the values that we care about in a democracy. And so none of this is easy work, but it really is going to take collaboration between the folks in the private sector who are seeing what's possible with folks in government who have a view and a responsibility to really take care of society in our communities. And so to me, it's really, really exciting, but it's going to take all of us to get it done.
Amazing. Well, it's been an honor to be up here with you and talking to you, so thanks so much for the time.
Thanks for what you're doing.
Cheers.